What's up, guys? Hope you're doing good. So it's been a while since I've uploaded. I know I've just been crazy busy lately, but in this video I really want to just get back, hit the ground running hard, and I want to talk about sponsored ads. So this is the topic that is so important to the success of any Amazon seller, and it really does separate kind of, I guess, the men from the boys, you could say. I mean, being good at sponsored ads, being a ninja at sponsored ads is literally going to make the difference in your business in a huge way. So, there's so many things that go into sponsored ads and really mastering them as a whole. And I could be on here in this video for literally 3 or 4 hours or 3 days for that matter, explaining to you everything that goes into it. But for today's video, I just want to kind of simplify things. I want to cover the main topics, the main areas, the criteria that go into sponsored ads and being successful, and just the things that you have to be mindful of when you are constructing your ad campaigns, when you're optimizing your listings, and things of that nature. So, all right, guys, so this is a random screenshot I pulled from an account of mine inside of Amazon. So this is an ad campaign. Those are 3 different ad sets within one ad campaign. So I guess first and foremost, starting from the most basic level, right? Sponsored ads are constructed from the campaign level. That's the high level overview. And then within the campaign, similar to like Facebook ads, it all kind of works the same, right? Within the campaign, you have different ad sets. So these are 3 different ad sets. I like to structure my campaigns usually with several different ad sets. Usually I separate out the exact, I separate out the broad, I separate out the phrase. I just like to do things that way and keep things organized for myself. As you can see, let's just go left to right. Let's cover absolutely everything that you see here. From left to right, you have the ad sets that I just highlighted. You have the status, they're running. That's a good thing. I don't want these paused. And we have our bid. Bid is important, but it's not like the end all be all. So what I usually like to do, just as a pro tip, I guess you could say, is, let's say, first of all, you have to understand what broad is. You have to understand what exact match phrase is, and you have to understand what phrase match is. So with broad, you're going to be targeting generally a lot longer tail keywords and potentially search phrases that are not as relevant to your product as, let's say, an exact phrase would be. So for a broad search phrase for spatula would be silicone spatula, plastic, black silicone non-stick spatula, right? That would be a very, very broad search phrase. An exact would just be silicone spatula. Boom, that's it. That's the exact phrase because it contains just that word only, just that keyword only, silicone spatula. And, I just want to give you a quick overview on that. I can go in more depth on that on another video if you want kind of more beginner friendly stuff. I'm just not exactly where you guys are at in terms of your Amazon progression. So, forgive me if I jump too far ahead. So many tutorials and YouTube videos out there already existing that explain the super beginner stuff. That's why I'm kind of more concerned with actually highlighting some of the more advanced stuff and maybe, actually helping you out. Because I assume, and maybe this is the wrong assumption, but I assume that you maybe even have a product live and is selling, or you're close to that point. Maybe you're getting it sourced currently, or you're doing product research and all of that stuff. For bid, we have the keyword, so you can put from 1 to, I think they cap you out at like 2,000 keywords or something, in which you actually have to create a new ad group in order to put more keywords in. There is a hard cap on the keyword limit per ad set. Can't really remember what that number is, but it's not really a big deal. So the reason you see 2 ads right there in that category is because there are 2 variations for this product, and that is as simple as that. Impressions are impressions. Impressions mean eyeballs. So a total of 535,000 eyeballs have seen these advertisements. That's just viewed, right? They've just seen it on their computer screen. That's all that means. No more to look into there. Clicks is exactly what it sounds like. That's how many times the person has clicked on the ad. Click-through rate, CTR, is click-through rate. So that's basically a formula, what percentage of, so impressions are views, clicks are clicks, click-through rate is what percentage of those impressions what percentage of those people, giving impressions are actually clicking. That's click-through rate. The higher that number is, the better. You want it to be the highest possible. And one thing I'm going to touch on right now, one thing you can do to dramatically increase that click-through rate, and why this is one of the most important parts of your listing that I cannot stress enough, is your main image. So your main image not only is going to increase your conversion rate and just make your listing stand out more, right, from a conversion standpoint, but it's also going to increase your click-through rate big time on your sponsored ads, which is going to give you more clicks, going to give you more sales. It's like the tide kind of that rises all, right, guys? I mean, it snowballs. It's a big time snowball. So click-through rate, huge. That's why your main image, huge, because you want to capture the click. Spend is obviously what it sounds like. It's how much money you've spent for those clicks. Cost per click is cost per click. Don't really need to go into that much more. Orders are orders. Sales and ACOS is the last kind of big thing you must be aware of. So that's average cost of sale is ACOS. And ACOS basically means, how much money is it taking you to generate a sale? So I guess averaged out, you can see on the 3 ad sets there is 24.96%. So that means whatever your selling price is. So if your selling price is $20, if your sell price is $20 and your ACOS is 25%, that means you're spending $5 for every $20 sale that you generate. Does that make sense? Because that's $5 out of 20 is 25% of your average cost of sale. Does that make sense? So I know it's a little weird to think about, but that's just how it is. So, $5, if you're generating a $20 sale and it's taking you $5 in order to do that, that's a 25% ACOS. And generally that's a pretty good metric, believe it or not. Most sellers cannot consistently get that number. For whatever reason, that's not only due to the fact that they're good or bad or indifferent at sponsored ads. Some products, guys, for whatever reason, some products are just not very sponsored ad friendly. I've noticed, I've listed over 100 SKUs on Amazon in my life, and some products just simply perform way better with sponsored ads. I have no explanation for it. I wish I did. Some products are just a lot harder to make ads profitable for, and I know what the next follow-up question is going to be. Well, what do you do in that situation? And it's quite simple. It's unemotional for me. I cut the product. With one caveat, however, if the product is super uncompetitive and the competitors around me don't have this crazy ad budget and are spending all this money on sponsored ads, which is going to help them sustain ranking way, way more than somebody like me who's not spending any money on sponsored ads, I will definitely cut the product loose because I'm just going to be bleeding money and I will have no other way to keep the product ranked unless I run some sort of paid promotion through Facebook ads or Google or something of that sort. And to be quite honest with you, I have just no interest in spending all that extra capital on a product that I cannot make profitable with Amazon sponsored ads, because I know for a fact from my own experience, right, that I can go out and source another product that can be twice as profitable with sponsored ads. Guys, it's all about that proper allocation of your capital. So you always want to be putting that capital into the most efficient place possible. That's really an important lesson that I've learned, over my time selling on Amazon. This is a very cash intensive business. You need cash in this business in order to grow. And where you put that cash is extremely important. So allocation of capital, very, very important. Put that money in the place that's going to give you the biggest ROI. I know it's obvious, but it's just how you have to think. Unemotional, right? ACOS is huge, guys. So this is I've seen this time and time again in regards to ACOS where, sellers, this is a big reason why you see these ridiculous screenshots, right, where somebody's doing like $1 million in a month, and that's freaking awesome. Like, I love that. I'm not bad mouthing anyone who does that. Like, I wish I was doing $1 million a month. I'm not doing $1 million a month, so that's awesome. But what I'm getting at is, so oftentimes you don't know what their actual profit is, their net, and oftentimes sponsored ads cost is chewing up that profit so hard, and I feel like some people don't even realize it or know it, because here's the thing, right? Let's say you are selling let's go back to the $20 example. You have a $20 sale price on your product. Easier. Let's say you have a 40% profit margin on your product after all is said and done, after you pay the cost of the product from the supplier, the shipping, the Amazon FBA fees, everything after it's all said and done, you have a 40% profit margin, which is pretty good. What you might be asking, like, how much money am I then left to spend on ads to still be profitable? And the answer is, you can have so the answer is simple, right? If you have a 40% profit margin on your product, and you have an ACOS of 40%, an average cost of sale on your sponsored ads of 40%, that is break even, correct? So anything under 40% ACOS is going to be at a profit. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I know a lot of people get confused with sponsored ads, and rightfully so. It's a little techie, kind of geeky stuff, but here's the thing. 100% ACOS is not break even. I've seen people make this mistake so often. People think, oh, it's 100% ACOS, that's break even. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm totally fine with 100% ACOS. And I'm here to tell you that, look, no, it's not, because it's okay in the beginning stages, because when you first launch a product, I understand you're going to have to buy data. You're going to have to maybe go a little bit in the red in order to know exactly what data, what keywords are profitable, and what keywords you should drop. That's normal. But as far as, true profitability, if you have a 40% margin on your products, you really, really, if you can't achieve after 6 months or so of grinding, right, of hustling and grinding, after 6 months, if you cannot achieve an ACOS of under 40%, so if you cannot run sponsored ads profitably for that given product, then I have a strict rule in my own businesses where I just simply cut it. I cut it because I have no interest in selling that product. Unless, like I said, it's super uncompetitive and it only makes maybe a few sales a month, and and the competitors are only doing a few sales a month as well. So therefore, I know that I'm not going to get like butted out of the market, so to speak, by not investing in advertising and and ranking and all that. So if it's a super uncompetitive product and you don't even need to run and maintain sponsored ads to keep your ranking, then there's no sense in cutting that product. It's just going to be a little passive sort of income earner for you, and that's cool. That's fine. But if you're in a more competitive niche where you're surrounded head to toe with guys and gals who have a marketing budget, who know how to run sponsored ads, who know how to run Facebook ads, who know how to run Google ads, all sorts of external traffic, that's a dangerous rat race to go down, to try to compete with those types of people. If after that 6-month mark, and again, it doesn't have to be 6 months, that's just what I do, okay? It's just what I do. You can't make the ads profitable. In that situation, your capital is not being used efficiently. You need to cut the product, and you need to allocate the capital in other places. I really hope that video was helpful. Hopefully it gave you sort of a higher level view of kind of how I look at sponsored ads, how I approach them, and the kind of the takeaway I want to give you here is that we're not in this business to run a nonprofit organization. At least I'm not. So like, I'm profit obsessed. I think more sellers need to be profit obsessed, because gross sales simply don't mean anything. I know I've said that so often. You're probably sick to death of me saying that, but I care about the money I can take home to the bank and put in my pocket. And if I can't, the moral of the story is, keep track of your numbers, guys. You should be optimizing these campaigns once per week at least. And honestly, anything more than that, and it would be overkill, because you need to allow Amazon time to collect data and tell you what's working and what's not. And also just keep in mind that the data that you see today on your Amazon spot inside of Amazon Seller Central regarding your ad campaigns is going to be 24 to 48 hours in the past. So it's delayed. So don't freak out one day if you look at your campaigns. And I used to do this. I used to do this all the time. Don't freak out if you look at your campaigns one day and you're like, you're telling me I've spent $30 and made no money, or I spent $100 and made no money. And the truth is that's not true, because they always update your spend first and they'll update the sales later. So it's a little bit misleading. Don't get freaked out. Just let it ride. The data starts coming in for real, and you see, you just monitor where you're at. You optimize the winners. You scale. You cut the losers, And it's just it's a continual sort of optimization. That's how sponsored ads are. It's a continual buy data, optimize that data, scale the winners, cut the losers, and it's just rinse and repeat over and over again, and until you become, routinely profitable. And sometimes that can take longer, sometimes that can happen very quickly. I wish I had the answer for you. Like I said, it largely depends on the product you're selling, the category, the niche, and for whatever reason, some products perform a hell of a lot better with sponsored ads than others. Doesn't matter how good you are at running ads or bad, it doesn't really matter sometimes. And I just want to leave you with that. I just want to emphasize one point. One thing that really helped me with my sponsored ads tremendously that I highlighted in this video earlier, but I just want to highlight it again, is the importance of your main image. The click-through rate, the CTR, from my experience, has made a bigger impact on to have an attention-grabbing main image that's different from the 16 other guys on page 1 or page 2 or wherever you are. It's so important to have just something that looks different, catches the person's eye, right? It's called a pattern interrupt, right? When a person's scrolling through their Amazon, through the listings on Amazon, or in the Facebook news feed, it's the same idea, right? On the Facebook ad, something that's like, whoa, that's like something different. I haven't seen it before, and I'm gonna click on it. So, guys, I hope that was a helpful video. I know I kind of covered a lot, went fast, but if you want me to go more in depth on any of the topics, on any of the criteria I covered, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions, let me know. I respond immediately. I will help you out as much as humanly possible, and I will not hide anything. So, guys, with that being said, please subscribe and like this video if you enjoy this content, if you want me to release more stuff like this in the future. And yeah, guys, have a great day, and I will see you on the next one. See ya.